Hello and welcome to Raggy's World. Today I wanted to talk through some of my findings for my dissertation project because I know some of you are interested in that. I haven't written it yet, it's not due in until the end of March, but I have been planning what I'm going to write. My project is on BookTube, as some of you know this. If you haven't seen the original video, it's linked below. My title at the moment stands at Can BookTube be classed as a community? I don't know if it's going to end up being called that. It could be called something sorry about the rain. Could be called something similar, or it might change a bit. My sub-questions I'm looking at is what constitutes a community, does a community have to be cited, and what implications does the study of virtual communities have on anthropology. Again, some of these might change depending on how much I have to talk about because I get a bit carried away. I didn't realise till I was starting to plan this how much information I actually have. I've conducted interviews, had people answering questions from the description of my video where I've been leaving some questions. I've partaken in the BookTubeathon, the 7 in 7 readathon, been to the book lover meetup in London, and I've also just been generally around reading comments on videos, watching videos and discussion videos, and it's all been very enlightening and busy, and there's so much going on in our community. I did a lot of reading on community and on what sort of research has already been done on online communities and on how to conduct research online. Having looked at what research has already been done, I noticed that there's nothing on BookTube. I know that research has been done on YouTube and on online worlds. Having looked at what community is, although all my reading said there is no overall definition for community, I've come up with some things that kept on reoccurring, some of them which are a bit of the traditional view, and all of my writings have said it's not really considered anymore, especially with online communities. So for example, face-to-face. Now face-to-face is a very interesting topic to consider, and I've been writing about this all day because while face-to-face is described in the Oxford Dictionary as at least two people close by, like facing each other, it's interesting with YouTube because you are looking at someone's face. You're watching me now, but I can't see you. I want to do more reading into this before I start writing, but faces they add something to the conversation. Like the fact that when you look at a car, you might see a face, or you might see a face on your toast or something. We are sort of programmed to see faces, so faces does add an extra dimension to community and getting to know people. I had people saying in the interviews that they feel it's easier to make friends if you're a creator, not only because you can make videos together or be tagged, but also because people know what you look like, whereas they may not have in comments, especially if you don't have yourself as your profile picture. It's not necessarily a bad thing because obviously having done reading of other communities where video is not a thing, community can still be created. Another aspect of community in a traditional sense is that it's geographically located, and this is something that I'm very interested in for BookTube because while we're not geographically located, at the same time BookTube gets its name from YouTube, so online it does have a location on YouTube. But then you've got to ask yourself this question, and I asked everyone, what other aspects of the internet do you consider BookTube? And you get Goodreads, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. All of these other social medias are considered BookTube as well. It's a complicated question about geographic location, but then you ask, well, what about blogs? Because blog people will also probably be on Twitter, Tumblr and Instagram. So are there overlaps of these things that we consider? Is there not just one overall sort of online book community? Another aspect of community is commitment. This is the fact that if people are not committed to continual interaction, then you're not going to have a community because no one's going to be doing anything and your community will just die. Another aspect of community is bonding, so creating relationships, and again there's so much. I mean, I could make a video for each one of these. Oh, there's so much. Interaction. Of course you need the interaction. If you don't have the interaction, then again it will just die. I found what was interesting about people classifying themselves. In all my interviews, a booktuber was considered someone who creates the videos, but you can be part of the BookTube community, even if you only comment. That's interesting about interaction. And then you've got these questions about, which I guess kind of goes with bonding as well, is this idea about answering all your comments. So if you're a creator, I tend to try and answer all my comments, but with bigger booktubers, you would be spending hours, pretty much your whole day, replying to people. There is no way you can possibly reply to every single person who comments. So does that affect the community? I personally think it does affect the community because it creates people that you're not really connecting with. Kind of, as one person put it, it's like just watching TV instead. It's interesting. Some people called it like shouting into the void. Although when watching the BookTube culture videos, people were saying, oh, this is bad. I don't think it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a fact of a community getting big. That's just what happens. There's no possible way they could reply to everyone unless that was their full-time job and they did nothing else. Another aspect of community is having a common interest. Again, what I find with this is that, okay, BookTube is a community of book lovers, people who talk about books. That's what BookTube is. So the common interest is books and reading. But as you found with the BookTube culture, you've got people mentioning that people just post polls. They don't seem to read the books. So are they just a book hoarder? Is that a common interest between people? And then what about the genre? So we know that all of the popular booktubers are YA. Mostly, there might be some that I don't know about that aren't, but mostly they are YA. What's interesting here is that we know that there are sub-communities in our community. There are people who are older and may not read YA anymore, or people who are younger and just don't read YA either. And you've got people who only like specific genres, so they may not watch all of these huge booktubers. So are they still part of the community? I think they are. I think what you have is BookTube being this overall community, kind of like maybe a school, and then you've got the different groups within that school. It comes down, I guess, identifying yourself with things. So what is it that you're identifying with? Another definition of community would be having clear boundaries, and I don't think really any community have clear boundaries. The thing is, boundaries of a community, if you ask anyone else about a definition of anything, unless it's geographically located, then where are the boundaries of a community? And asking people who was part of BookTube and who was a BookTuber, and people have different lines, who is considered a BookTuber and who isn't. If you ask the question, how many videos do you need to post to be a BookTuber on books? Some people said, well, if you just post the one video on books, then you can be a BookTuber. But then others were saying, no, you need to be involved. You need to maybe post like 25%, like 75 books related and 25 not. Got others saying, oh, it doesn't matter what you post on your channel. So the boundary is very interesting about who is in the group and who is not. Another aspect would be a unique culture, and then so this relates to all of the BookTube culture videos that were out there, which were very helpful. They exploded at the right time for me. But unique culture is an interesting situation here because BookTube has a lot of similarities to other YouTube communities. So we've got the holes that they have in beauty communities and stuff like that. We've got the tag videos. In fact, some of our tags relate to the wider YouTube community. In which case, BookTube is kind of just part of YouTube. It's a little community within a community. Anyway, I have lots to talk about. Another aspect would be sense of belonging, which again comes down to where the boundaries are. But where does the sense of belonging come from? What is it that is creating this sense of belonging? You have to have things in places to even start to consider that this is a community. So those are just some of the definitions and some of my findings, but I really should stop there. I hope this made a little bit of sense. I tend to ramble. I have a lot of information going through my head. I really should have written a script. Oh my gosh, there is so much to talk about this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. These are not, of course, all my final ideas and thoughts. They're just thoughts at the moment, and there's so much more I can say. I just need to decide what I'm going to say in my dissertation. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will speak to you again soon.